just some of the madness, right? So this is Jane Russell, and I want to show a little bit. Jane Russell who is the King's Counsel, KC. She's the counsel for NHS Fife, the lawyer for the barrister. She said biological sex is just a belief, and she repeatedly objected.
It's a belief.
She actually said that. She repeatedly...
Like Buddhism.
Yes, actually, like climate change too.
Like Scientology.
Like Scientology. Yes, actually.
That's a better one, actually.
That's a better one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
so
a belief.
Biological sex is a belief, just like Scientology is. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Anne McElhenney.
Is it? My name is Phelim McAleer.
Welcome to the Anne and Phelim Scoop.
Yes.
From Ireland.
Yes.
Grey, wintry, wet Ireland.
We're coming for a heat wave here in Ireland because the world's going to end when the temperature...
when the temperature goes to 25 next week, apparently, 25 degrees centigrade, which is just 75 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes.
The Irish Met Office have nearly lost their reason, and so they've coloured in the map
red.
This violent red that looks like we're all going to just die. They've been given advice, by the way, the Met Office in the UK, and to asking people to sleep downstairs because apparently the weather is going to be in the 30s, which I think might be touching 80. For our American friends, this is all very funny. But yes, I just love these maps. Look at these maps from the Irish Met Office of what this weather's going to be. This delightful weather of the mid-70s next week. Danger. Yeah, there'll be all kinds of extraordinary circumstances, and emergency services will be on the alert.
Yes,
for people dehydrated and all kinds of things. Even though the dehydration in Ireland, I think, is mostly caused, self-imposed by alcohol excessive consumption. Thank you, Phelim. Thereof.
Yes, danger. Yes, because we're all going to die because of climate change. Yeah, so yes, the temperature that Irish people, if they went on their holidays, they'd be slightly disappointed.
Very disappointed. It was only 75.
Yes, is now a mortal danger because we have to scare everyone into compliance.
But we have been on our sort of mini vacation.
Does it feel like a vacation?
It doesn't feel like a vacation because it's kind of a bit of work we had to do in the middle of it, but all very good. We did see 2 plays in a theatre in Ballahadreen, County Roscommon, where my mother was from. One was The Field by John B. Keane, which is extraordinary. And there was a movie made of it with
Richard Harris
and Tom Berenger and John Hurt and all kinds of people, and Brenda Fricker. And I would advise people actually to watch it. It's actually really, really good. The play is extraordinary. Very, very violent, by the way, or at least implied violence. You don't see any violence on stage, but this explains, I suppose, Northern Ireland. Does it, Phelim, now?
Oh, are you being a bit partitionist there, claiming that you live in a violence-free nirvana?
No, Phelim, it's set actually in the Republic of Ireland.
You said,
but it's about people's allegiance to pieces of land, and how that allegiance can be so entrenched and so impassioned and so important to the people that they would resort to violence in order to protect their perceived rights to pieces of land that they're renting.
But only little Nordies would do it up north, would they? Yeah, and you've no history of that in yourself.
I think it might be a metaphor. But we also saw
in your illegal and failed statelet.
We also saw The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. Amazing and just incredible to realise that it was written in. There's an 18 in the date of when it was written, so it was 18. Now late in the 1800s. However, it could rival the very best of any comic writing ever. It's absolute perfection. And I'm going to come to something at the end because I would actually advise everyone to get The Importance of Being Earnest and read it for just pure delight.
So modern. And many of the, even his little claims about...
To lose one parent could be considered a tragedy. To lose 2 looks like carelessness.
Yes.
Or Lady Bracknell, who said, I do not approve of anything that tampers...
I just want to say she's talking here about education. Yes.
Lady Bracknell says, I do not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate, exotic fruit. Touch it and the bloom is gone.
Yes, it's funny. He's very sore in education.
He's an absolute genius. Anyway, Phelim, what's happening in the podcast this week?
Well, we've got some big news out of Hollywood. From
very good friends of ours.
Good friends of ours. Dean Cain and Gina Carano have some news. Crazy Los Angeles, actually talking of Hollywood. You don't know this story, but...
Phelim's got a tendency to do this now. He springs these stories on me that I haven't been told about.
What is the latest proposal for the minimum wage, a serious proposal for the minimum wage in Los Angeles?
I'm sure it's very reasonable. I'm sure it makes lots of sense. I'm sure they've really looked into the potential downsides, upsides of increasing the minimum wage.
Yes.
I am sure. It's been very, very well thought through because that's the kind of place we live in.
And the kind of leaders we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking of leaders, you may have heard that evil Republicans are gerrymandering Texas. That's just media malpractice. We will bring you the truth about the gerrymandering in America.
And we'll even bring you the definition of gerrymandering, which I just looked up.
I'm rather disappointed. I thought Irish people invented gerrymandering. I'm shocked
they didn't.
And we bring you the madness. I went to Scotland during my vacation. I went to Scotland for a trans court case. Nurse Peggy versus NHS Fife. Comedic. I mean, sadly comedic. It's comedic.
Insane.
Comedic when you have to defend the indefensible, defend the insanity. Oh, and Ireland is tying itself in knots over women's sports, men and women's sports. We bring you the scoop. And talking of Ireland and madness, this is my favourite story. So Kneecap, which we've spent a lot of time talking about, and they've got a court case in London on August 20th. I may ask for permission from my boss to go over to London for that for one day. And Kneecap, the rap group, they complained about their artistic freedom was attacked by the government and those who cancelled their concerts. It's just terrible.
Artistic freedom and their ability to speak freely in whatever perform. Artistic way they feel necessary.
And we're going to reveal the worst hypocrisy I think
you've ever come across.
In recent
I saw your
times.
face actually when this story broke here. I saw your face, and it was like you just did not believe it. Actually,
I think it's the sort of thing, no shame, but actually it's not no shame. They'll never be shamed, which is a thing. It allows you then to do awful things. It
allows you to be shameless.
Yes.
If you're never shamed.
That's right.
That's right. And wait till the very end of the show. I've got a life hack that I want to share with people, which some of you will already know about and will be watching this life hack at the end and saying, oh, I always knew about this. But for those of you who don't, 2 little life hacks that I think make life better. And I'm also going to ask you to send any life hack that you have that you think we should share with our audience. Because sometimes there's these things that would make your life better, and that I have just discovered a couple of these things and I want to share them with you. But tell us, Phelim. So Cain.
Dean is becoming an ICE officer.
Yeah, our friend Dean Cain.
What's his Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So yes, Dean, apparently he did an Instagram video praising ICE, and I think it was picked up. Jesse Waters and Fox. And then next thing, he's actually going, now it's all the headlines in the liberal media is, he's becoming an ICE officer. Let me read you. Cain will be sworn in as an honorary ICE officer in the coming month, according to a statement from Tricia McLaughlin, U.S. Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs. I think what we call that is trolling, perhaps.
Who's trolling now?
Everyone. I'm not sure. I don't think Dean's going to be in the back of a truck outside Home Depot rushing out.
In the middle of, in somewhere in Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I doubt it. But maybe. I mean, he is already, and I know this, he's a deputy sheriff and a reserve police officer.
In Idaho?
In Idaho.
Yeah.
I think he has to go there once a month, because I remember when we did the Gosnell movie and he was in it, that was one of the things he says, it has to be around my service in Idaho. But
I think what he's doing there, I think he's basically using his celebrity to support ICE and to support the efforts by the Trump administration to get rid of people who are illegally in the United States. Yes. And as people who are illegally in the United States with visas that we pay a lot of money to try and procure each time that we're going for them, we feel very strongly actually about legal immigration, because it's not fair.
Yes.
Like, it's deeply, deeply unfair that you get to walk into somewhere and be, illegally living in the United States of America, when it's a prize worth paying for, and it's a prize worth doing the legal thing to win that prize. And all kinds of people have done that and have their visas. And it's just really unfair. Is basically the point. So I think that's part of Dean Cain's reason for doing this. And the other Hollywood story we have is another friend of ours,
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
So Gina was in our Mice on Hunter movie, where she played a Secret Service officer and kind of narrator to the movie. So she features quite prominently in the trailer. Let's play the trailer.
So I'll tell you what's going down.
Do you know who I am?
They told me you were VIP. All connected to the government.
What kind of a moron forgets to pick up his laptop at a repair shop? You're a Biden. Act like one. Everything he built, his life. I just ruined it all. I want to know everything that's on that laptop that can ruin my erection. My friends, it's time to party!
Didn't you know I'm taking control? I make an appearance and I gotta go, cause I get them dancing with their hands up. Yeah, I walk in and they go bananas. I'm a bad, yeah.
I'm an artist.
And they're cheering my
Tell me how I can help you.
I don't deserve help. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I've been through worse.
You're the smartest man I know. Thanks, Dad. I just wish I could make some sense into you. I'll never forget Corn Pop. He was a bad dude. No joke. Dad, we were talking about suffering. No.
I can't seem to find anything but positive stuff on the Bidens.
Who's the point man for the foreign policy in the Obama regime?
Joe Biden. So it looks like you need $1 billion.
So the obvious next question is,
Where's Hunter? I can remember getting paid some money, but I can't remember what for. Well, my dad says we never discuss my businesses, period. Or my cut.
what's happening in there? Joe's in on it.
Party's over!
You had everything, Hunter, and you threw it all away. You hope the laptop will take down everybody with you.
Get out! China's not our enemy. They're not bad folks. I love my dad, and I just want to make him proud. I am the one who brings in all the deals. I am the one. The boy.
So Gina was famously or infamously fired and by Lucasfilm / Disney. Don't forget, this is
she was
Disney.
like, so her background is that she was an MMA fighter.
Yes.
So that she, she's quite famous around the world, like, and so had this huge following of
Very
people.
famous. We know a certain Supreme Court judge who's a huge fan of hers.
We do happen to know a Supreme Court judge in the United
Yes.
States who's a huge fan of Gina
Yes,
Carano.
you know the way it is when you meet a Supreme Court judge, you think you're going to be talking about Roe versus Wade and Plessy versus, Board of Topeka and the Board of Education versus Brown or whatever. And the Supreme Court judge goes, you made that movie with Gina Carano? And we go, yeah. And he goes, and he starts telling you the career of Gina Carano.
We were very grateful that we got to have her in the film, by the way. We were very lucky. But she had been, she had been like this big star,
Yes.
This big Disney star. And you can imagine.
She was in
like,
The Mandalorian.
She was in the Mandalorian series. And so people who've seen the Mandalorian series, like, they totally know who she is. And as well as this whole population of MMA fighters. But,
So-
by the way, that, like, there's a detail there, like, that I think is worth, like, she would have been in receipt of extremely serious grown-up money, like very, very grown-up money, and a lovely life to be part of the whole Disney world.
But also these artists, right? This is taking away not just their livelihood, not just their money, but their reason for living.
Yeah.
It's incredibly traumatic thing to do.
Since we moved to Hollywood, we've met we now know a lot of actors.
Yes.
We've made a couple of movies, so we know even more actors, and we've made a couple of plays, so we know even more actors.
Yes.
And we have discovered something about actors it's kind of sad, actually. It's actually, when you realize it, it's really, it makes sense. Once you get it, though, you really understand it. They are artists, and they don't know how to not do the thing that they want to do. So it's like, it's basically like saying to Leonardo, or Da Vinci or something. It's like literally saying, put down that brush now. That's the end of that now.
can't
And we're
paint
actually going to be
anymore.
tying your hands together now. There'll be no more art now from you. And that's what they're doing. And that's what they've done with this cancel culture. And this is what they did to her. And here's what she said. I think it's really worthwhile, looking at this shocking thing that she said.
This is the
that got
original
her-
tweet.
that got her cancelled.
Yes.
She said, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers.
Can I say something? This tweet that you're reading now, this was in February 2021. And look at what she's saying. She's talking about 1930s. Jews were beaten in the street, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbours, even by children. This tweet was not only not offensive, it was prescient.
Oh, yeah.
This is Gina
That's
Carano
unbelievable.
predicting the
I kind
future.
of didn't actually, funny, when we were looking at this morning, I actually didn't even realize that. So this predates 2023, predates October 7th, predates all the
Campus
madness
protest.
and all of the stuff that's happened to Jews in the last number of years. And she continued to say, because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbours hate them simply for being Jews. Simon Harris,
Yes.
etc.
Yeah, government.
How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? You're absolutely right. Not only was this completely inoffensive, but the most extraordinary thing about it was prescient. She totally foretold what was about to happen.
Yes.
So they cancelled her. Like they took away her whole career.
I want to change. I don't want to use the word cancel anymore.
What do you want to call it?
I don't know.
Annihilate.
Annihilate. It's because, it's not like...
Cancelling sounds so soft. It sounds like you weren't able to go to the concert.
Yes, that's what it means. It's not like cancelling someone who works in the shop down there because they can get another job in another shop. It's not being fired. It's something. It's
obliterating your career.
It's torture, actually.
Yeah. It's violence, by the way. It's really violent.
It's violent.
Yeah, to do that to somebody, it's really violent.
That's it. It's violent. Whatever the word.
And then to understand as well the context into which this, so she got the most severe punishment you can get from Hollywood, to be a nobody, to become a nobody overnight.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Pedro Pascal, one of the stars of The Mandalorian, by the way, compared President Trump, who was president at the time, to Hitler.
Yeah.
Consequences? Zero.
They also, him and his co-stars also supported, huge support for BLM, which is a corrupt terror supporting organization whose supporters burned cities across America and killed over 30 people during the George Floyd
and then went on to collect an enormous amount of money with their foundation, which went missing.
Yes.
Rachel Ziegler, then, another one of these big Hollywood stars.
Disney star. She was
a Disney star. She was acting, opposite
Gal Gadot, a former IDF soldier,
an Israeli. She was opposite her, and here's what she tweeted on X. She said, "And always remember, free Palestine," in the middle of the campaign promoting the movie, where her co-star is an Israeli. Now, not just an Israeli, former IDF soldier, but also a very staunch Zionist, a very big supporter of Israel. And she got away with that. And she also got away, Rachel Ziegler, who is a particularly hateful person, got away with saying, in 2024, after the election, may Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. By the way, that's referring to about 75 million people in the United States of America.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. And of course, as you were pointing out earlier, this had a disastrous effect on the box office of a movie that had cost, what, 200 million, whatever.
More, because I had to go back and do research. I think it was 300 million. So,
And she talked about, another 4 years of hatred. She later apologised, whatever, said, my emotions got the better of me. But she was allowed to do that. She was allowed to apologise.
Gina was not allowed to offer an apology.
No,
She was not allowed to offer
no way out.
Context. She was just fired arbitrarily and publicly with glee.
Oh, yeah, they were delighted. Now, what happened then was enter stage right, as they used to say. Enter stage right.
Very much to the right.
One Elon Musk, knight in shining armour on his white steed.
Filled with billions of dollars.
Filled with billions of dollars. Basically saying to Gina Carano, who I read just recently, like she wrote just yesterday, and said she's never even met him. He arrived and said, I will pay, I am going to bankroll this legal battle that you're going to have with this, by the way, with this mega company, this mega company. So ordinary people, and including, by the way, I'm putting Gina into that, you wouldn't have the resources. You can't fight Disney. They're just too big. They're too powerful. They have too much money. Not if you've got Elon Musk writing.
Even better, he said, I will bankroll
anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone. Yeah. And
so,
he has said
that. If you're out there and you're working in some shop somewhere and you have been fired for
just saying something. Don't forget that Elon Musk is there on his white steed, ready to come.
Has offered to bankroll anyone fired for their free speech.
So Gina wrote this then on Twitter just in the last couple of days. I've come to an agreement with, now it's very interesting as well. She's very measured in the way she writes it, because obviously this has been lawyered up to the hilt. And obviously Disney don't want to give away too much. I would say now, my read of it is that she has gotten a big ball of money, a massive big ball of money, and that Lucasfilms and Disney are basically committed to giving her a job again. So here's what she says. I've come to an agreement with Disney Lucasfilms, which I believe is the best outcome for all parties involved. I hope this brings some healing to the force.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. I want to extend my deepest, most heartfelt gratitude to Elon Musk, a man I've never met, who did this good Samaritan deed for me in funding my lawsuit. Thank you, Mr. Musk and X, for backing my case and asking for nothing in return. To my lawyers at
Cher Jaffe,
who walked me through this unknown territory. Thank you for your wisdom and guidance. I'm humbled and grateful to God for his love and grace in this outcome. I'd like to thank you all for your unrelenting support throughout my life and career. You've been the heartbeat that has kept my story alive. I hope to make you proud. I'm excited to flip the page and move on to the next chapter. My desires remain in the arts, which is where I hope you will join me. Yes, I'm smiling from my heart to yours. Now, Disney didn't,
This is Disney's non-apology. Now, some of the media have called it an apology. And actually, as far as I'm concerned, it contains numerous lies. So this is what Disney said. The Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm are pleased, I'd say that's a lie, to announce that they've reached an agreement with Gina Carano to resolve the issues in her pending lawsuit against the companies. Miss Carano was always well respected by her directors, co-stars and staff.
No.
And she worked hard to perfect her craft while treating her colleagues with kindness and respect.
And I bet she did treat her colleagues with kindness and respect.
By the way,
we've been on set with her, so we know what she's like.
Yeah. Lucasfilm, by the way, called her tweet vile. By that,
yeah. Not much respect there.
No. With this lawsuit concluded, we look forward to identifying opportunities to work with Miss Carano in the near future.
So I think the thing to say there, and the reason why Lucasfilms and Disney were brought to their knees by Elon Musk, is the fear of discovery. And this is something that we have learned a lot about discovery over the years with the Gosnell case and many of the other cases that we've
Let's explain discovery to
people. So
people.
Discovery is, if I have to show you mine, you have to show me yours. So in a court case, you will be required, in a case like this, you will be required to show all correspondence in relation to said Gina Carano by the company. But it works both ways.
Yes.
It works both ways. So they can go after her and make her hand over her work product, hand over any emails or text messages she might have sent to other cast members.
Or vile text messages.
Exactly. But equally, once you open that door, then Disney have to also hand over all of the texts, tweets, any of the, well, not the tweets, obviously they were public, but any of the texts or emails that went between different members of the production company or at the highest levels of Disney. And you know what? I bet there was some vile stuff there, Phil. If you're going to use the word vile on me, I think you'd have found a lot of vile there.
I think they'd be pretty vile towards Gina. And I think, when Pedro Pascal and Mitchell Ziegler wrote what they wrote, what did they say then?
Yes.
Did they support them?
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff that would be there would be bad when they think no one's listening and no one's watching it and it's a mob. But don't forget, these people are mobs.
And I would think, you can imagine, by the way, the Rachel Ziegler thing, right? Where she said basically, I wish all the Trump supporters never a moment of peace in their lives.
You go, girlfriend.
You can imagine, the internal communications at Disney and Lucasfilms would have been, you go, girlfriend, you're the girl, we're behind you, girl power, don't you worry, don't let the put you down, whatever. So that was not going to be, they would never allow that to become public. So, but only because of the weight of Elon Musk was she able to fight this, which is very, very unfair. Which is very, very unfair. It means the smaller guy does get trampled. Yes. But it does tell you how grateful the world should be that we have Elon Musk on the side of right and good.
So we're going to talk now about the other madness in Los Angeles. In the city
you have to tell me the story that you're hiding from me, Phelim.
What do you think the latest, and it's wrong to call it a proposal, the city has now passed a law.
Oh, passed a law.
Now, at council level, and for increased minimum wage. And the current minimum wage is $18 or something like that, $18 an hour. What are they suggesting for the tourist industry, for hotel workers and people involved in the tourist industry?
Oh, yeah, because the tourist industry is going so well in Los Angeles right now.
No, people really want to go to a city full of 10,000 criminally insane, homeless, meth addicts, plus a city that's been devastated by fires.
A city that's not only been devastated by fires, but a city that's proved that in a place where wildfires are indigenous, let's use that word, that they're indigenous to the area.
Yeah.
There is no plan to deal with them. And when they happen, there will be no water there'll be no water to fight the fires, basically.
And you're on your own.
So, and by the way, don't even get started on what happens if the big one happens, the earthquake that's been promised for so long,
Yes. Why wouldn't people want to come to LA? But anyway, so they're now going to come. So, by the way, we think things are expensive here in Ireland. How much is a coffee in our cutesy little coffee
Well, the last
shop?
time they were charging me $6.75 because I asked for milk. Was that it?
So $6.75 for coffee. Or hold that thought. $6.5, and this is for you stand and get your own coffee at a counter.
Oh yeah, and you just stand there
and you go outside and there's
that's right. No one's serving.
And you're out in the open. There isn't even a canopy. Is it? There are umbrellas.
No. There's no. But then it doesn't rain in California. Not very much.
Well,
anyway.
the umbrellas are for the sun. But so that's where. So $6.75. So how much do you think now they're not proposing? We are now going to have.
I'm not going to play this game with you. Just tell me.
Oh.
25.
$30. $30.
Just double it. And what? It'll make no difference.
Well, so remember back when people were talking about $12 or $15 an hour. Somebody said, why not 50?
Yeah. I'm 100.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Well, now they've just done 30. So, and well, obviously they're going to try and have the union or the business owners are going to try and have a referendum now, an initiative to try and quash that law. But it's, I mean, the chances of it going through are high.
Yeah,
you know?
it is California, the home of the bad idea. So, anything's possible.
I mean, how
I don't know. No. I don't know. How do you? Well, one thing that they could do is something that we've been noticing in Ireland, by the way, a few times now, and we've noticed it a few other places too. You book into a hotel, and you're staying for 4 nights, and you start to notice on this. We had this happen to us in Barcelona recently, and we started to notice that they're not making up the room. The only reason to stay in a hotel, the whole joy of staying in a hotel is that your room is made up every day and they tidy it up and you have lovely new towels and everything.
You go away and mysteriously your room is just...
That's the reason you don't stay in an Airbnb. But in fact, now what they've done is hotels are now saying things like 6-night minimum, or, they'll put up something like that, basically, and it's for climate change. It's for climate change, by the way, Phelim. Don't be thinking it's anything to do with the cost of paying people $30 an hour.
Just be clear, they'll only do up your room once every 4 days if you have a letter from your parents.
If you have a letter from your parents and the
doctor says
and the wind is coming in a certain northerly direction at a different temperature.
So yes, $30 an hour. So that's really going to work well, isn't it? So gerrymandering, is he any relation to Mary Mandering?
So Phelim is very disappointed to discover that because Phelim was under the illusion that gerrymandering had been invented in Ireland.
I did, and I grew up in a gerrymandered country. I don't particularly remember, but I was alive when it was happening.
For those of you who've come here for the education, and I know a lot of you have, I'm now going to give you the definition of gerrymandering because it's kind of interesting. So it's a mix of 2 words. One is Jerry, and the other one is salamander. So Elbridge Gerry, who I would say was Jerry Elbridge, but anyway, Jerry Elbridge, I'm going to call him, was the Vice President of the United States at the time of his death, so he was, at the time of his death, he was the Vice President of the United States, but anyway, he was, at the time when he did this, as Governor of Massachusetts in 1812, he signed a bill that created a partisan district in the Boston area that was compared to the shape of a mythological salamander. So basically,
they took his surname.
It looked like a salamander because basically it was a kind of, they made it.
It wandered all over the place.
It wandered as a way of corrupting the democratic process. So the word gerrymander comes from Jerry and salamander. Okay. And there we get gerrymandering.
I grew up, many people would say that Northern Ireland is a gerrymandered state.
Oh, well, actually, and by the way, this is, do you know what? This is worth stopping because it's absolutely true. Mm-hmm. So in Ireland, and by the way, we have this all the time when we have visitors. So Ireland is divided into how many?
Historic Ireland was divided into 4 provinces. 4 provinces:
Ulster, Munster, Leinster, and Connacht. We're in Connacht right now.
But just the next state or next.
So the next place up. And in Ulster, there are how many counties?
9 counties.
There are 9 counties.
So if you were dividing Ireland after the War of Independence, you might think, well, we could, and there were a number. So the problem was there were Protestant Unionists in the northern part who want to be part of Britain. So you would think, okay, well, keep them in Britain. So you would have divided into Ulster, taken Ulster out of the equation,
which was already kind of historically recognizable.
And there are actually mountains in between it's actually a natural.
So what they decided to do was to gerrymander and create a completely new entity called Northern Ireland, which constitutes 6 counties out of the 9. Now, Phelim, fingers on the buzzers, and of course, I know you know the answer to this.
Yes.
Why is it that Donegal, Monaghan and Cavan were taken out of Ulster? Would there be anything about the population that would have been particularly unattractive to people creating a statelet that would always have an allegiance, let's say, to the United Kingdom?
So, let me explain to you.
I will, because go on, do it slowly now
for the
people at the back.
The hard of hearing. So the people who would be allegianced,
aligned with the United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom would be Protestants. And if you took the historic province of Ulster, you would have a 50-50 Catholic and Protestant.
And at the time that they were doing this, Catholics were having children.
Yes. So you would have basically the country could immediately vote itself back into the Republic of Ireland if they had such a referendum, or very shortly thereafter. So what they did was they cut out 3 Catholic counties, majority Catholic counties.
We're showing those up. We're going to show those up on the screen right now so that people see it. Because actually, we have had this so many times with tourists because they don't understand where's Northern Ireland, what's Ulster. Exactly.
So they created 6 counties called Ulster. And that's why what I was going over this illegal statelet and gerrymandered statelet. And I was always a bit sore, like when I was growing up, because people used to say, look, especially you Southerners, look at us like we were some kind of monsters, and fighting over land and religion. And I'm going, well, like you created this. You created a sectarian statelet. You were part of creating a sectarian.
You're making this very personal to me, and I wasn't involved at all. I was only a child.
It's a collective punishment.
Wasn't even a child.
No, you weren't even.
I wasn't even a child.
Yeah, it's a collective punishment on your people. If you should be paying reparations to me, actually.
Okay, so gerrymandering has come up.
I didn't get finishing my rant. If you created a sectarian statelet, don't be surprised if people within the sectarian statelet are sectarian. So that's here endeth the lesson.
Moving right along.
So these people are creating sectarian little pockets. So anyway, the Texas people have cut out 5 Democratic seats by
rewriting the district maps.
So
they've done that to more accurately divide up the districts rather than to, because the gerrymandering is being naughty.
I think they're being naughty.
Oh, you think they're being naughty?
No, I believe.
So they're just basically going to the Democrats' rule, playbook.
Well, this is the media are saying, "Oh my God," and the media are reporting how terrible this is. They're not the rule book. They've learned the best from the best, and that's the Democrats.
I've always made this point, by the way, and it's really tragic. Republicans just don't know how to do politics.
Do you know
Republicans do not know how to do politics,
right.
And Democrats do, and Democrats are not frightened of playing dirty.
Yes.
So tell me what the Democrats have done that the Republicans have learned.
Here's a question. What percentage of the vote in California do you think Republicans get? You know that California is an ultra blue state. What percentage of the vote is Republican in California? In the presidential election?
20%.
20%. Interestingly, the number of seats, the number of Republican seats are 17%, right? In California.
Right.
So, however, California, the GOP gets 40% of the vote in presidential elections. So 40, and you can imagine lots of Republicans don't go out and vote in the presidential election because why would you?
Because you know what's going to happen.
Yes. So they have 40% of the vote and they get 17% of the seats. Massachusetts, another Democratic state, the Republicans make up 35% of the vote at presidential elections. They have 0 congressional seats. Connecticut, 38. Of course, Connecticut's full of rich New Yorkers, right? They go up there. A lot of those are liberal, but not so many. 38% of Connecticut is Republican. They get 0 seats. Maryland, 38% Republican, 12% of the seats. I like this one. New Mexico is 44% Republican vote in the last election, like 44%. How many congressional seats?
I think I know this one. Is it 0?
It's 0. It's 0. So
you're saying the reason for that is gerrymandering.
Yes, totally. So if you see media articles complaining about Texas, just mention New Mexico. Actually, New Mexico is the best example. 44% of the vote and 0 congressional seats.
That's amazing.
California, 40 for 17% of the seats.
Unbelievable.
So don't listen. Don't listen. So where was I recently? Scotland.
Went to Scotland, to Dundee. How was Dundee nice, Phelim?
Well, when I went to Dundee, Tom Jones was playing a concert.
Real Tom Jones?
The real Tom Jones.
Oh,
in the stadium beside the hotel. I was in a hotel on a Sunday night, surrounded by a lot of rather drunk Scottish women. 30 quid for a bottle of wine.
A bottle of wine?
Aye.
That's wine for those people who can't get
30 quid for a bottle of all is in the lift, or elevator. 30 quid. I had to drink it from the neck. I don't know why you had to drink it from the neck because it was 30 quid, but that was what she was telling me. 30. I'm very happy for you. Was it good wine? Was it French or... I don't know. I didn't get it.
So why were you in Dundee? I presume you didn't go to Dundee, Phelim, to go to the Tom Jones concert.
Possibly. Well, no, I was going to say I'd be more... Where I was more entertaining. Another thing about the hotel...
Oh, I remember this.
Yes. You walk... It's never a good sign when you walk into your hotel room and there on your hotel room is a letter from the manager
saying,
welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going,
that's not good.
There's a but here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And actually, will I get up the letter?
No.
Okay.
Go on.
It's, we'd like to apologize
In advance.
You may have noticed your room is uncomfortably hot.
Oh, dear.
But we built this hotel to reduce our carbon footprint. So therefore, it's built with no air conditioning. And we thought we'd rely on the natural flow of air through the hotel. So, and this is me speaking now. So that's why you built a glass-fronted hotel facing south.
And the windows don't open in the bedroom.
The windows, well, because, they open, some of them open like this.
In case you want to try
but also, if ever there was somewhere in the world that was designed not to have a natural flow of air, it's hotel rooms. There was a single aspect.
Yes.
The door is a fireproof door. Like, it's not like you.
So you were very uncomfortably warm in there, because surprisingly it was kind of warm in Scotland at the time, wasn't it, Phelim?
Not particularly warm. The sun was shining, which I do believe it happens every so often. Anyway, I was at the Sandy Peggy case. Sandy Peggy is an accident and emergency nurse at the Victoria Hospital in Kirkcaldy. And she was suspended, investigated, disciplined, persecuted, prosecuted.
What did she do?
She objected to sharing the hospital's female changing room with Dr. Beth Upton, a man who identifies as a woman. And that's all. It's just identifies. There's nothing.
Oh, identifies. Yeah.
Yes, nothing. No, 100% a man. So on Christmas Eve,
oh God,
she wasn't in the drunk tank. She was in her changing room having a personal problem that she needed to undress for. And she found herself alone in the changing room with Upton. An exchange of words happened. And he came out and said what happened to his boss. His bosses immediately took his side, filed it as a hate incident, advised him to call the cops. They suspended her, started disciplinary process, eventually allowed her to return to work, but made her change her procedures, made it very clear that men were allowed in the female nurses' changing rooms. So she then went to an employment tribunal. I suppose I don't know what it would be called in America, but it's where you go to challenge unfair practices at work.
But it was open to the public.
Yeah, and it's a proper courtroom, with a judge and two lay advocates or two lay judges.
But there were barristers there.
Oh, the whole 9 yards, barristers, solicitors, stenographers, the whole thing.
And who's paying for Sally Peggy's defense?
They tried to ask her that, and that they weren't allowed to ask that under. I think she's fundraised. I assume
J.K. Rowling.
may be involved.
Maybe helping her. She deserves. Again, by the way, it's little me against the NHS. By the way, and the NHS have no end of money.
Well, just to let people know, the NHS is the National Health Service, which is the state-run. There's only there's only state-run health in the UK. It's
you got no
private sector.
You've no options.
I think their budget is bigger than they're the second biggest employer.
I think they're the second biggest employer on the planet Earth after the Chinese army. I think that's the statistic.
You got the Chinese army, NHS, and the US Post Office. Something like that.
Yeah. Basically, everyone works for the NHS.
So it's got a hundred and hundreds of billions budget. So they have no end of money. So she took a case alleging sexual harassment, belief discrimination, and victimization. And the basic her case is she was required to share a single-sex space with someone she believes to be a male. She was disciplined and suspended after raising concern. And she was victimized for holding beliefs, which are called gender critical, belief that that a man cannot become a woman. So, just some of the madness, right? So this is Jane Russell, and I want to show a little bit. Jane Russell who is the King's Counsel, KC. She's the counsel for NHS Fife, the lawyer for the barrister. She said biological sex is just a belief, and she repeatedly objected.
Is a belief?
She actually said that. She repeatedly,
like Buddhism.
Yes, actually, like climate change too.
Like Scientology.
Yes, actually.
That's a better one, actually.
That's a better one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
so biological sex is a belief, just like Scientology is.
Yes.
That, in fact, we all really came from some spaceship, was it?
I think, yes.
I think Scientology was something about a spaceship. I think there was a spaceship in it.
Yes. No, we're Thetans. And it was a bomb came from another planet.
But biological sex is just like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to know, Phelim. Thank you.
And Jane Russell repeatedly objected to witnesses calling Dr. Upton a man. Yes, arguing that was merely a belief, not a fact. And there was a whole argument about it, but basically the judge said, call him whatever you want. And very funny, during the case, on several occasions, she called Dr. Upton a man, accidentally.
The judge?
No, and his own counsel.
Oh, his
and
own counsel.
Witnesses that were supposed to. Well, he's obviously a woman.
Very good.
He is obviously a woman.
He's obviously a woman.
Right. And it's
Very
like,
good.
you know, because you look and go, he is obviously a woman, but your brain says he,
Yeah.
but your ideology. So I happened to be outside the court and I was taking photographs and videos of people coming in, and Miss Russell came along.
The KC.
Yes, the lawyer for Fife, who said biological sex is just a belief. And some pro Sandy Peggy people had a dog, a very cute little sheepdog, and Jane Russell, I think, a boy dog, and she leaned down and started saying, "Oh, it's a dog! It's a dog!" So therefore, that gave me a little in there. So let's play that video.
Yes, she is. She's not with humans. No, not with dogs. Oh, yeah, I have a skeleton. She's very rare.
Would you say the dog is a male dog or a female dog?
Well, I don't know. I mean, how? I'm not sure what to say about this. Although, you know.
How would you know?
See, well, how would you know?
Yes.
Very naughty film.
Yes, it's done very well, actually, the video. But it just shows you, like, you know what a dog is. You know what a female dog is. I won't say the word. But anyway, that's more madness. Esther Davison, the nurse manager, you know, you can't tell if someone's a man just by looking. She actually said, these are nurses. These are senior.
Oh, yeah, these are nurses. That makes it that's actually even worse. Yeah.
Yes.
You can't tell a man just by looking.
So Isla Bumba, who I think is the chief diversity officer.
Her name is Bumba.
Yes.
There you go.
If he says he's a woman, he's a woman.
If he says he's a woman, he's a woman.
That's the rules.
That's a quote.
We didn't ask if any women had trauma or religious objections which would mean they'd feel uncomfortable having a man. And so, you know, women's considerations just go out the window.
Oh yeah. They asked men how they'd feel.
Yes. It was all about his feelings, but no consideration was given to the women, you know, if they'd been assaulted by a man, you know, yesterday, by the way, you know?
Yeah.
No, doesn't matter. And
it's funny. It's like that thing. And I know we're going to go on to talk about trans sports in Ireland, but I just think it's like, it's very similar to that point. It's like, why is it that in the sports world, it's only men identifying as women who want to get into women's sports? It doesn't work the other way. And isn't that an interesting one?
Yeah, there's no
women identifying as men who want to go boxing with other men or want to do any other kind of physical sport opposite men or play football opposite men. No, that doesn't seem to arise at all. Yeah. Which, in fact, if anything, actually just proves the point.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, Phelim.
And Bumba again. Women haven't lost anything unless you believe in biological sex. She insisted that letting male staff into the women's changing rooms wasn't a problem unless you noticed the sex difference. So anyway, it's not black and white. Gillian Malone, head of nursing, asked if letting a male into the women's changing rooms meant female staff no longer had a single sex space. She said, it's not black and white. The day I was there was madness. It looks like Dr. Upton, Dr. Beth Upton, as he likes to be called now, doctored his notes after the event. After the event, and other notes from other events to make it look like Nurse Peggy had endangered patients. And it's very interesting. He now produces these notes claiming she endangered patients, but didn't
report it at the time. Yeah. So a patient is being endangered. You know what? I'm not going to bother actually doing anything about that.
Yes.
Until it's politically, useful to do something about that.
Actually, he should be up before a disciplinary hearing. If he was aware of endangerment.
100%.
But didn't let anyone know. Well, this mad woman could do it again. So the case is almost over now. I think they've finished evidence. They're now giving final submissions.
So there'll be months of whatever deliberation, right?
I would say it'll be 2026 before.
Oh, really? Before we'll hear. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll keep you posted on that because it'll be very interesting.
And
and these kind of cases have huge implications, obviously, because this is going on everywhere.
And we would like
in Ireland.
Yes, but we would also maybe like to do a project on that.
We want to do a project on that, given the fact that we had trans on trial.
Yes,
somebody wrote and said we could have trans on trial too. But anyway, let's
play the clip. Let's play the teaser from Trans on Trial there.
Frothing at the mouth, self-obsessed, a bloated ego, a serial fantasist, and an elephantine ego. I'm saying that trans men are men and should be recognised as men, so treated as men.
Right, recognised as men, so they are literally men. Well, you've got a vagina and you've got binary sex characteristics, and in there somewhere is a gender.
Well, you see, I'm not clear they come out of the womb with a sex, to be honest.
Well, Mr. Roberts, if you have your penis or genitals removed...
I am not a medical expert.
Now, when you say really stroppy on Twitter, what do you mean by that?
To say I'm a lesbian and I'm attracted to women's bodies, it's seen as bigoted.
Well, it's very complex, isn't it?
We will not have any man with a penis tell us he is a lesbian because he feels like it. We will not have that stolen from us. We will not be a laughingstock. We will not be erased.
Yeah. So if you'd like to help us keep doing Trans on Trial and maybe do Trans on Trial 2 with the Sandy Peggy case, we don't know yet if we can get the transcripts. Please send money to unreportedstoriesociety.com. We are a 501c3. We can only keep going with your help. And you've been very generous, and all donations are tax deductible. So
and all donations up to the next, I think it's $100,000 will be doubled.
Yes.
We have a very generous donor who is willing to do that. So please realize that whatever you give, it will be doubled.
Yes. So unreportedstoriesociety.com. Thank you. So let's talk about madness in Ireland. So in 2023, the Irish Sport Ireland, which is the government quango that runs sport in Ireland or regulates sport in Ireland and gives out large sums of money
to different organisations.
Yes, they commissioned a trans investigation into trans issues in sport.
I bet they regretted that.
Yes. Oh no, it's very funny.
Last thing you want to do is ask people their opinion.
Well, the reason they regret it is because they never released the report.
Well, this has happened before.
Yes. So the report was done by a group called
Carb
Mill, which is...
Carb Mill Consulting.
Carbohydrates Mill.
No. Okay, but Carb Mill, it's probably a name. Okay.
Right. In July
2023.
Yes.
This is a while ago.
And they discovered that some of the people said, we don't want to take part in this because if it gets out, if our opinions get out, we could lose funding. If our opinion gets out and it differs from Sport Ireland's opinion, either way,
we're done for.
We won't get any more funding. So they wouldn't.
So they had a problem then doing the report because people wouldn't talk to them.
People were scared, and and shocker, the biggest issue raised was the inclusion of transgender women in sport. Wow. Individuals involved in boxing and the martial arts were adamant that allowing transgender women to compete against females in their sports was unsafe and possibly unlawful.
I love the quote. It was akin to watching footage of violence against women.
It's a big thing here in Ireland. I'm sure it's big in the United States. How do we stop young girls dropping out of sports? Because when they hit 13 or 14, a lot of them drop out and it's because of their body image and it's not a welcome place. Hey, how about not having a man in the changing rooms? Hey, how about not having a man on the sports field breaking their leg? Hey, how about not having a man in the boxing ring punching them and killing them?
Yeah. That might help.
But then I like, it's kind of unanswerable. It's indefensible. So what do? They blame the Muslims. They put these attitudes in the mouths of Muslims. In some of it's very good.
Oh, really?
Yes. I call it the blame the Muslim section. Some said making games more inclusive would lead to higher rates of participation. However, others said the opposite, including members of the Islamic community in Ireland, right? In one instance, the parents of one of the players concerned explained that her daughter and her friend had been put in a position where they had no choice but to withdraw from the ladies' football, because they're sharing changing rooms. And it's like, I don't think it's just Muslim.
Not just Muslims who care, about their daughter not being.
But, and then
to that.
There's this stupid idea that it's okay at the grassroots level, but
at the elite level, we won't do it.
And it's like, well, where do you think the elite athletes come from?
Yeah.
And if you discourage elite girls or young grassroots girls.
And it's kind of, what is it saying, basically, that violence against kind of more loser athletes is kind of okay.
Yes.
The elite athletes, you wouldn't want them punched in the face.
Yes.
Okay.
So then I love the stating the obvious, However, examples were given which would suggest that even at the recreational level, some sports lend themselves to safety concerns when lower level competitors could cause injury through lack of skill and movement control. This is complete madness. It's because they're men in women's places. But I like this. One sporting body had introduced a policy where participants came dressed in their kit went home without showering or changing.
Oh, God. Had to go back on the bus without showering or changing.
So all these girls, you really want, So the girls are going home. And, in Ireland, where it rains all the time, where the grass is muddy, this barely seems practical, is the quote, for this particular indoor team, but totally impractical for other sports, for instance, participants get wet and are muddy. So girls are really going to stay in the sport if they're asked to sit in wet, minging clothes on the bus home. So, and women have to be uncomfortable. So men, this is me speaking now, men with a fetish/mental disorder get their sexual kicks.
Yeah.
That's a great message.
Yeah,
stand out.
Absolutely.
Volunteers, it's hugely problematic for volunteers in these organizations because most sports organizations are run by volunteers in Ireland. They felt confronted by this topic and thought the sporting environment had become too difficult for them to cope. So they're just checking out. They're saying we're not going to get involved in this. That's where we are in Ireland. That's 2023. Sports Ireland did introduce a transgender guide to sports in Ireland, which was basically the most bland document. You have to follow the law. Maybe it was what it said, and but we're not going to explain what the law is.
We're not going to get into the details. Yes, it's all a bit awkward around here.
Yes.
Okay.
A nation once again, a Kneecap once again, and Michael Hinney.
Phelim is very obsessed with Kneecap now.
I am. I may go over to the mainland, the UK, to see their latest. So Kneecap, Irish rap group,
obnoxious Irish rap group,
vile Irish rap group. Apparently, according to the young people, the music's okay. But
okay, interesting. Right. All right.
And that was a young Jewish person who told me that. So, fair enough.
Yeah.
So you may remember, they're one of the members of Kneecap is being charged for shouting either up Hamas or up Hezbollah on the stage, which we have just said is absolutely appalling. Like, you should be allowed to shout up Hamas or up Hezbollah probably
if you want to.
But on stage as a character you're playing, even in a band, look, Ozzy Osbourne wasn't on stage, wasn't Ozzy Osbourne in his house or even walking along the street.
Yeah.
He would say and do things because he's playing a character, and people are going to see that character. They're not going to see it at home. In fact, there was a whole reality show based on how different Ozzy Osbourne is at home compared to his image on stage.
Right.
So you have to be. I mean, we go and see plays. Some actor might say something truly horrible on stage. I'm sure in The Field the other night there was things that he'd be prosecuted for, but it's an actor on stage, just like this guy in Kneecap is. So.
I don't think he's playing a role, though. I think that I don't think that's a fair comparison. He's not playing a role. It's his opinion, right? It's his opinion, and and apparently there's free speech, though, right? And he believes in free speech, so this is what he believes.
Well,
right?
There's a swagger associated.
No, there is a swagger, but I think I do think they believe this.
Oh yeah, no, they do believe it. They do believe it.
They're not playing a part.
No, they're not.
They're big supporters of Hamas. They're big supporters of Free Palestine.
True. I should have declared that. So anyway, he's been prosecuted, and all these people signed letters. There's a letter decrying it, and they've said it's outrageous. So then. There is a
one-day event called Misha Éireann, I Am Ireland.
Yes.
Scheduled for the August 23rd in a place called the Mayflower in Drumshanbo. Centre, billed as a festival for those who cherish Irish culture, heritage, and are united in celebrating our shared values. And guess what happens?
The festival had invited anti-immigration speakers.
Yes.
So that is not allowed by the artist class in Ireland or in the world. So
they've managed to shut it down.
But Kneecap, there was a letter circulated condemning this, calling for it to be shut down, and the singers in Kneecap signed the letter.
Yes.
And many of the people who signed letters in support of Kneecap's freedom of speech signed the letter closing, Christy.
But they don't see but I think they genuinely don't see the contradiction. They don't see the hypocrisy.
This is my thing. When you're never shamed, you can be shameless.
Yeah, and so they've never been shamed, and no one's going to point that out in the mainstream. They're not going to point it out. They are, however, pointing it out. I think on social media. I think at least Phelim McAleer is.
This is what they said in the letter supporting Kneecap. As artists, we feel the need to register our opposition to any political repression of artistic freedom.
Repression of artistic freedom. Any political repression of artistic freedom.
The question of not agreeing with Kneecap's political view is irrelevant. it is in the key interests of every artist that all creative expression be protected in a society that values culture, and that this interference campaign is condemned and ridiculed.
That's very funny.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
Well, if you really want to see how bad the Irish media is, a guy walked up to an Irish police officer and stabbed him several times.
Walked up behind him.
Yes.
So the police officer was walking and he came up behind him and stabbed him. And
the Irish media were killing themselves to say he's Irish born.
Irish born. What's his name now, Phelim?
He's
Abdullah Khan, is it?
Yes, one of the Khans.
One of the Khans. Oh yeah, one of the Abdullahs. A very sure everyone knows that. That's a very Irish name.
Ancient Irish family.
The ancient Irish Abdullah Khan family.
Yes. So
the Irish media went on and on and on. Irish born. And the minute you saw that, I was like, okay, there could be something in this now.
Yes.
Now, he was born in Ireland. He was definitely born in Ireland. And I think, is he second generation or whatever of the Khans?
Yes. But actually funny, just as who was it? Lord Wellington, I think, the British Lord Wellington, he was attacked in the House of Commons for being born in Dublin. And he was only an Irishman, right? Which was obviously a terrible thing at the time. And he said, Jesus Christ was born in a stable doesn't make him a horse, right? And being born in Ireland doesn't make you Irish. If your values are not Irish, if you believe you can go up behind a gallery.
Would you have a feeling, Phelim, that this man's values aren't Irish? What would make you think that now?
Well, Gript IE got a hold of a video of
a full video showing
of said stabbing.
I don't think we're showing that video.
No, we're not. But whilst he was doing it, he shouted out Alu Akbar, which is Irish for I'll have a cup of tea now.
Yes.
No.
Alu Akbar. Yes. I don't think that's Irish.
Yes.
So that's what he was saying prior to stabbing this police officer, who I think is okay now.
Yes. No, he is.
But it was a really violent attack.
But nothing as violent as the cover up, I think.
Yeah.
And I believe said Mr. Khan has now been rearrested. He's in prison. He's now been rearrested for attempting to burn down Conor McGregor's pub.
Oh, same Mr.
Yeah, so he was on a little crime spree.
Oh,
this is what they do, and it was a completely motiveless attack. We can't understand it apart from the Alu Akbar. Remember, that was a motiveless attack, and it's a bit like this very time we're sitting in the motiveless. No one can understand the motive of the guy who beheaded the two gay guys in this town.
Yes, beheading is something that happens a lot in Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah, the ancient crime of beheading, which has a long history in Ireland, not. We've kind of come to the end of the podcast.
Life hacks.
So for all of those, there's a lot of people now who will roll their eyes when I do this, but there'll be some people who won't roll their eyes, and those people are people like me. So a very clever young person, and I'm becoming that old person who has young people explain the world to them. I just think this is fabulous. And I've now decided I am going to share, even if some of you are all very sophisticated and know these things, on your phone, on your iPhone, or your any phone, there are apps. And there is an app called Libby, Libby.
Or do you have to download it?
You have to download it. You have to download it for free, Libby, and you find a young 14 or 12-year-old in your neighborhood who will do that for you if you don't know how to download apps. You download this app, and guess what this app does? You'll be asked, it's a library app, and it'll ask you what your address is and, where's your nearest library. And then magically you will be a member of that library even though you haven't left your house. Now, that certainly works in America. Now, I've noticed, I tried to do it with a friend here in the UK, and a friend that lives in the UK who was visiting, and she will need to go to her local library to do it. However, go to the local library and do it. Then go home. And in the comfort of your own home, you can get any book basically that was ever published for free on your phone. And you can travel, and you can have that app, and you can meet somebody who says to you, you should really read The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. And you think, I'll do that. And you go on your Libby app and you download it for free. Now, one thing that will happen is if it's a very, very popular book, it'll say to you, you were 109 in the line of people ready to get that book, right? But it'll come to you eventually, and all of that is free. The other thing that I think is really unbelievable, and I really find this unbelievable, and I've told this to my husband, and I have not gotten a great explanation yet. Basically, every magazine that's been published in the world is also free on that app, including like Hello Magazine. I don't understand that. I don't see what the educational value is in that. But things like Bon Appetit for those of us who like to look at recipes, but also from an intellectual point of view, things like The Atlantic, The New Yorker, all those magazines are free and you can read them on your app. And for the magazines, there's no waiting list. There's no waiting list zones. Now, Condé Nast must be getting a nice big check from the library. I imagine. I don't know.
Maybe, perhaps.
And that brings me on to two more things to say. I'm going to do one more life hack, but just on the book front, if you are looking, because I think there should be a section in every bookshop that says absolutely delightful. Not even humor, but something delightful. Because a lot of books are really disturbing and frightening and upsetting. So I'm going to become a big promoter of the delightful book. My father used to say many years ago, why don't they make nice films anymore? I have become that person who wants nice films. I don't want anything disturbing. So on that front, I would highly recommend John Boyne. He's an Irish writer, very famous worldwide for writing The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas about Auschwitz. Very disturbing book. However, he has written a really delightful and very, very funny book called Echo Chamber by John Boyne. Honestly, you laugh out loud reading it, and it's kind of an attack on woke. And I just can't recommend it enough. So highly recommend John Boyne, Echo Chamber. We'll put up what it looks like there. The other one I would recommend that I kind of came across by accident is Travels with My Aunt by Graham Greene. It's hilarious. It's a little bit naughty. It's hilarious. But Graham Greene famously was a very, very moral writer, actually.
Yes.
Was very concerned about morality. But this book is just pure delight. Okay, second hack, and I'm going to quickly do this. There is another app that your local 12-year-old or your own 12-year-old will download for you, and it's called Radio Garden. So we'll put it up on the screen there. Download that, and then you open it, and you can listen to radio stations anywhere on the planet Earth in perfect sound. So Tahiti, and watch us bring the cursor here. Stop there. That's Sydney. Let's listen to the radio there in Sydney. Let's go, keep going. Let's listen to the radio why don't we listen to the radio in Moscow? Let's listen to that. Let's go on. Let's listen to the radio. And all over the world. And I just think, I don't know, there could be a reason that you might want in the evenings to listen to some radio station from the south of France. Do it. I just think it's kind of a delightful thing. Okay. So those are two hacks. If you have a hack that you'd like to share with us, please do, because I just think people need to let people know that these things exist. Yes. I have to say that this library app to me is absolutely extraordinary, and you can download it on your iPad, on your phone, and you can read books and you can listen to audiobooks for free as well. So anyway, all very good. So that's us for this week. We will be here again next week and then back in Los Angeles the following week. And we'll have quite a lot of news. While we've been kind of quiet, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. So we've come evil plans. You like our evil plans. Yes. So we will bring those to you.
If you want to help us with our evil plans, go to unreportedstorysociety.com. That's
501c3, tax deductible, and everything will get doubled basically up to about $130,000.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.